Gears of War might have been the first true killer exclusive for the Xbox 360. It was light on plot, but made good use of the system's power and online capabilities, delivering one of the best looking games on the console with some of the most fun cooperative play in years. In many respects, little has changed in Gears of War 2. The main weapon still has a chainsaw bayonet, cogs still ramble off machismo sayings, and enemies still have more blood than they know what to do with. Then again, why fix something that isn't broken? But has Epic kept up with the rapidly changing game industry, or is Gears of War 2 really just Gears of War 1.5? Thanks to the Unreal Engine's improvements since Gears of War's launch, the game looks much better than the original, mostly in terms of lighting and cosmetically destructible environments. Epic has also made good use of organic improvements, enhancing the look of living creatures and their innards. The engine supports more enemies on screen at a time, so the Locust Horde can number in dozens, helping to create an epic feel for the war. The superior graphics are tied together with a great soundtrack and well-produced voice acting.
Carmine, you did good.
Well, thanks, Sergeant Phoenix.
It might not look or sound as mind-blowing as the original when it was released, but the improvements are apparent, and the game looks great. Gears of War 2 has a much more developed story than the original. Things are changing, and the Locusts are acting different, showing signs of self-preservation and using bizarre tactics. The light mass bomb delivered into the Locust home in Gears of War didn't wipe them all out, and the cogs have decided that defending isn't working and it's time to attack, especially considering the Locusts have developed a new weapon that can sink entire cities into the ground. Epic has done a very good job of characterization, delivering a much more interesting narrative, mostly dealing with Dom's emotional journey to find his wife.
Well, looks like she was released a few days ago. We don't have any info after that.
There's gotta be another lead or something, right?
It's a little longer than the original, though it ends somewhat abruptly, and the last boss battle kinda sucks. But it does do a good job of getting you excited for Gears of War 3.
Oh, this is just wrong. I'm coughing up blood that ain't mine.
Holding A makes you run, you stick to cover like Velcro, and B is melee. If you played Gears of War, you know what to expect, but this time there's some more polish. New weapons litter the battlefield like a flamethrower and chain gun, and there are new forms of cover, ranging from a worm that slowly travels across the levels to taking enemy hostages as meat shields. When you move towards a downed enemy, who can now slowly crawl towards their allies, you have 3 execution options, as well as the choice of taking them hostage. Since the Locusts have a newfound sense of preservation, it creates an interesting new dynamic, adding to both single-player and multiplayer. Attacking enemies with your melee attacks are powerful, and using the Lancer's chainsaw bayonet is a one-hit kill. Usually. Chainsaw duels freaking rock. The original Gears of War's multiplayer was great for its time, but since then, games like Call of Duty 4, Halo 3, and Grand Theft Auto 4 have dethroned it. Epic's response was to add new multiplayer modes and polish some of the old ones. There are 3 new competitive modes. Wingman pits 5 groups of 2 against each other. Submission has teams needing to subdue a stranded and carry him to a checkpoint. And Guardian works like an expanded form of assassination from the original, where players respawn until their group leader is killed. We've also added a 5-player cooperative mode called Horde, where players defend a level against waves of enemies, earning points all the while. Cooperative play of the single-player campaign is awesome, and because of multiple save files, you're actually able to proceed in both online and offline games without losing checkpoints. They didn't bump it up to 4 players, which they really should have, but hopefully this is addressed before the next sequel. All of these modes are extremely fun, and should stretch out the Gears of War 2 experience a good bit. Gears of War 2 is a fantastic game, building off the original and creating an amazing experience for fans of the series. There's little to draw people in who weren't interested in the first, but there's enough content to consider it a true sequel and not an incremental upgrade. It still retains some issues from the original, namely the graphical pop-ins, but the expanded story and new multiplayer modes confirm a purchase for anyone on the fence. There's no way to avoid a game this good in the holiday season.